What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Now kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. UConn and South Carolina aren't just battling on the court, folks. They are also locked in a tough battle for the number one recruit in the 2024 class. Sarah Strong is the real deal. Could the winner of this game decide her fate and where she ends up playing her college basketball? Hey, I don't know, but I do know this. The North Carolina star out there in Grace Christian has ties to the Palmetto State. Dawn Staley and staff were at her most recent game. What does it all mean? Well, before we get into all that, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest, and join our memberships. We got that exclusive content coming daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Now, let's get into it.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Strong is widely regarded as the number one player in the nation right now for the 2024 class, and any college program would be lucky to have her size, strength, skill, and versatility on the basketball court, man. It is just something special to see. Now, we know South Carolina has already got a loaded 2024 class with Joyce Edwards, who is the number 2 player in the nation, who's also doing some recruiting for them, trying to get Strong there. They got Madison McDaniel, who's coming in, a really tough, scrappy, skilled, talented point guard. And then, of course, Adhel Tack coming in as well, another post player they're adding to that deep rotation. But, hey, they might not be done. So Dawn Staley and staff pulled up to Strong's last game, where she just put on a clinic, y'all. She hit 7 threes out of 10 and had 31 on the night, along with 17 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 blocks in front of the Gamecocks. Are you kidding me? Just at 6'2", the versatility, man. She can stretch the floor. She can get to the paint. She can play down low, finish amongst the trees, finish through contact. Like, she is literally just a Swiss Army knife. ESPN's Shane Laughlin compared her to Maryland standout Alyssa Thomas, former Maryland standout Alyssa Thomas, who y'all know, just played in the WNBA Finals, monster. She's also gotten comparisons to Ryan Howard, so some very, very high praise. Her high school coach, Chad Revel, compared her to Magic Johnson earlier in the year in an interview. He said, quote, "She can literally play every position. She stretches the floor inside to out." He said, "It's cliche to say that the ceiling is the roof, but you've got a girl that can do all she can do and stretch the floor and play 1 through 5 positions. It is pretty incredible and fun to watch." He also said Sarah makes everyone around her better. People want to play with her, come here. She has been a draw for our school, and players want to come be a part of this. She will get hers and she will score, but she passes, finds people, and I told her the great ones elevate the players around her. Just the complete package, man. Number 2 player in the nation, Joyce Edwards, who's already signed to the Gamecocks, also chimed in. Quote, she says, "Yes, for sure, I will try to get her, but at the end of the day, it is her decision. I don't want to pressure her too much." Respect. This is a big decision, a life-changing decision. This would be a monumental commitment. Now, we know South Carolina has been landing some big-time prospects. We know that. But if they can land Strong, it would be the 3rd time in school history, just the 3rd, that the program has landed 4 5-stars in one cycle, and the second time in program history that the team has landed the number 1 overall recruit in the country. And y'all know who the last number 1 player in the country to come to South Carolina was, right? You know, Asia Wilson, no big deal. That was back in the 2024 class. But this class with Strong, it would be arguably the best class in the history for South Carolina, man. Like, adding Strong just elevates this group to a tier above everybody else. It's almost not fair at this point. It's almost not fair. But it's interesting too to look at the fact that there are some family ties. So first off, she comes from a very, very strong basketball pedigree. Her father, Danny, played at NC State. She's also visited UConn, Oregon, and LSU. But she has not taken a visit to South Carolina just yet. But we have to note that Strong has ties to the Palmetto State. Like I said earlier, her father played at Great Falls High. He also had a 15-year professional career. And her mom was even a hooper. Allison Feaster, she played at Chester High. She's the third leading scorer in state high school basketball history down there. She was an All-American at Harvard as well. And she played 10 years in the WNBA, 8 overseas. And she currently works with the Boston Celtics. She was dominant in South Carolina. There are those ties. But something else we have to note is that her mom also played in the WNBA for the Charlotte Sting. Guess who her teammate was? Dawn Staley. Major development. I'm just saying that's absolutely, you can't underestimate them family ties. You know, that could be a place where her parents feel that they can trust that staff. I mean, you see all the things that the South Carolina parents are saying. Bree Hall's parents have come out and spoke highly of Dawn Staley. Chloe Kitt's family has come out and spoke extremely high of her. Like, we know, what we're getting when you go to South Carolina. Like, Dawn's going to be straight up. So I think that would be a person that they could absolutely feel comfortable trusting their daughter to go play for, obviously. So I think just that relationship is something to monitor. Someone that is a former teammate, that is, a family friend, that has built that connection, that has that pedigree now, that winning pedigree. South Carolina is rolling right now. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that would be, an option. But we have to mention the big thing, because it felt like she was a lock to UConn, and South Carolina finessing their way in. Like, the family ties are there. They have been recruiting her, but all the experts, all the analysts were saying Strong was a lock to UConn. She's visited there. You know what I'm saying? We know Gina Ariama's pedigree as well. Coached some of the greatest we've seen. And when you think of, like, just super versatile players like Amaya Moore, like a Breonna Stewart that has come through UConn, and, that Gino's helped mold and get the best out of, and completely just reach that untapped potential. We could see him do that with Strong as well if she decides to go there. And her and Aaliyah Edwards, oh my goodness, y'all. That front court, if that is the case, if everything lines up, that would be major. And a healthy UConn with Sarah Strong, I think we're talking about the number 2 team in the country, man. If they get some of those seniors to come back, and they also just regain their health, get that entire roster back. I mean, we've seen, other role players step up. The KK Arnolds, the Nika Mules, the Ice Bradys. Like, we've seen, what this UConn could look like. The Ashlyn Shea. We've seen the potential. They're running with 7 right now. They're playing 4 freshman heavy minutes, starting 2 of them. So, you add in a Strong to this class as well, and I mean, she's an immediate impact player wherever she goes. But UConn could use her more. That's no shade. That's just saying. So she could really go there, and I think she'll have a chance to play at South Carolina as well. But she could go in and start for that UConn team more than likely. Just with her skill set, her versatility. There's just not really a player like her on that roster right now. South Carolina is deep. She might have to wait her turn a little bit. And, we've seen players do that in the past. They've waited their turn at South Carolina, and they've been rewarded with championships, high draft picks. And so we know, like, if you trust the process, what can happen. But if she's looking for an opportunity to be, like, the immediate impact potential freshman of the year. Like, we see freshmen, doing their thing Malaysia football at South Carolina, but that's rare. But at UConn, there may be more minutes available immediately, just looking at the outlook of their roster, depending on who comes back, when certain players come back from injury. But, I mean, if the word is, from what I've been seeing, that more than likely, it's pretty much Beckers is going to be at UConn next year, more than likely. It seems like her wanting to play with AZ and the rest of these guys that have just gone through just so many obstacles, man. But if they can get Fudd back healthy, she's one of the best players in the nation when healthy. We've seen what she's capable of. And you put her with Aaliyah Edwards as well as Sarah Strong. Y'all, UConn would be back, baby. And we know they have a big matchup today. So, does the winner of this game have any impact on Strong's decision? I don't know. She's not in a hurry. There's no timetable for the decision really right now. She's taking her time. It's a big decision. She's going through her senior year, enjoying it, having a dominant season. What we're seeing. Last season, Strong averaged 22.6 points per game, almost 14 rebounds, over 4 assists, over 3 steals, and over 2 blocks a game. And she led her high school team to their second straight North Carolina Independent School Association state championship. And then during the summer, she helped Team USA win a gold medal at the 2023 FIBA 3-on-3 tournament in Hungary. She scored 46 points at the tournament and tied for second most among all players in scoring. This season, she's averaging 19 and 16. And you just see the versatility from that stat line. You're talking about a player that's being compared to Magic Johnson, Alyssa Thomas, Ron Howard. Like, those are some huge, those are some superstars. Those are some of the game's greats she's being compared to. Like, this is an instant impact, like, generational type of talent we're talking about potentially here. Instant impact. You can run the offense through Strong. She can anchor the defense as well. Like, this would bring, this would mean more to UConn. This commitment would mean more to UConn. It would be huge for South Carolina. It would be a great story with the family ties, with, Strong's mom being a former teammate of Dawn Staley, those connections, Dawn just being a rock star as a person. South Carolina continues to roll. They might be coming off a natty, so all the stars align for that move to happen. But I think UConn needs her more. They need to win this battle more. I think they just require her services more right now, man. It'll be interesting to see. She will be watching this game. She will be watching the NCAA tournament, and young athletes are impressionable. Nobody could say anything if she wanted to join the winning side. And nobody would say anything if she's trying to rejuvenate a UConn program that has been decimated by injuries and, frankly, that, has not been meeting the UConn standard of achievements out here, which is natty or bust, So it's interesting to see the outlook and how this could all play out. Gina Auriemma, Coach Dawn Staley out there battling again in another arena on the recruitment trail. But this South Carolina class is already loaded, y'all. And if Strong was to join this UConn class, they currently have Ali Zabel and Morgan Shelley already signed. 2 studs in their own right. And UConn is going to have a top 5 class regardless. But with Sarah Strong, they could end up having the top class. Zabel will be the second player ever to go to UConn from Wisconsin, following KK Arnold's another tough point guard. And that's a player too, Zabel, that other players are going to want to play with, man. You just talk about one of the most complete guards in the class. She can play the lead guard and run the show, or, she can shoot the rock and play off ball as well, man, because she is a lethal shooter. And if she's getting any space, hey, it's a wrap for you. And then you got Shelley as well. Classic big body, big guard. I know some people have been kind of saying that she's in the mold of Caroline Ducharme or Cadence Samuels, just that versatility. If they go small ball, she can guard bigger opponents. So Whit Strong, they've got 2 guards already signed. So Whit Strong, they could bolster the wing, but also bolster that front court because she can play anywhere. So that would be a very special class for UConn as well, man. Like, this is major either way. Like, South Carolina has a really great class coming in. UConn already has a really good class coming in, joining a bunch of underclassmen, a bunch of freshmen who are getting some big minutes right now, and it's speeding up their development. So while the growing pains sting right now, this UConn team will be better because of it next year when they get at full strength. But then you add you got these 2 freshmen coming in, and then you could add Sarah Strong to that as well. This UConn class could be very special indeed, man. I mean, we could be talking about the top 2 classes in the nation, to be honest with you. Just a lot of versatility in both of these classes, and 2 tough point guards who, could be the future of the position at the college ranks, in a couple years. So it'll be interesting to see, man. A lot riding on this decision though, man. There's a couple other players, top 10 recruits that haven't made their decision either. But all odds are on Sarah Strong. Now, I know that UConn and South Carolina aren't the only schools that are still fighting for her services, but it feels like it's going to come down to one of these 2, man. And with this mega matchup coming this weekend, we got to talk about it. We got to watch it. You got just 2 historic programs, man, that are just doing big things for the women's game in general. You love to see it, but who gets Sarah Strong? I don't know. We'll have to keep you posted. But let me know how y'all feel in the comments about this situation and how everything's gonna go down. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, hey, we out.